Oops. All right, should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. I got started just talking to myself, but should be able to hear me now. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 23rd, 2021. We just wrapped up day 3 of the open house. If you're interested in checking it out, interested in seeing some of the trades happen in real time, learning a little bit about the process, how we select the plays, and then also get a chance to make some money as well, then definitely check out the link in the description. All right, so let's take a look at the Qs and SPY here. Qs basically flat on the day, was up most of the day here. SPY basically flat also, got a little bit of a sell-off into the close here. There was some talk about rate hikes in 2022, so market got a little bit of a sell-off here into the end of the day. But we came into today bullish. We still have room we can pull back on all 3 Qs, SPY, and still be in an uptrend on the hourly here. Okay, and then daily even points to a little bit more of a pullback kind of being needed. That's 2 decent sized green bars in a row there. Okay, so a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a pause, or a pullback, I think, is what we should expect in the next couple days. But overall, market is still bullish. All right. Let's take a look at the plays from today. We'll walk through kind of what the things were, the calls were today. The first thing that I put out was the dare. I was looking to play this breakout here at the open over the top there, and it came in instead, so no trigger, no play. Next play was the ORPH, this base breakout right here, and this ended up being a little bit of a heartbreaker because, you know, I took a look at it and liked the way that I was consolidating the base, but I decided to not play this because of the daily. So, you know, you got all this stuff here to the left. You know, this is the one that just went from 4 to 77 in a day. And this kind of stuff, it's not my type of thing, really. So, of course, I felt a little bit bad that I didn't play it. And I know some people did, made this kind of run. But, you know, it was really kind of not my kind of thing. Okay, and so, you know, it wasn't really a gap. It was bullish, and that's how I found it. As for relative strength, I found it kind of shortly after the open because it wasn't a gap. It wasn't on our gaps list. So it had a valid entry, had a valid pattern. I don't know how many R's it went. I didn't bother figuring it out, but I did pass on it. Okay, and those are tough. You know, it's not an all-out mistake, but just looking at this daily, you know, this is not the kind of stuff that I'm looking to trade day in and day out, right? So I let that go, of course, worked really nicely. So that was a little bit tough. The PDCO from James, nice gap down here into some support, but gave us a nice clean pattern here this morning on the PDCO. So that was good. We did a sell setup. The sell setup turned into a base right there, and that's where James played it. Okay, right underneath that base. Okay, and then you could have also done an add. We've been talking about how to add and reduce the last couple of days, so there was an opportunity there to do an add, and then on the PDCO. Okay, and then very bearish gap. It's just into a lot of kind of support there, made the PDCO, you know, just a little bit limited as far as the targets go. But I think his play still reached 2 Rs pretty quickly there, so that was good. And then into the end of the day here, we did the run, okay? And we spent the last couple of days talking a lot about what makes a good buy setup, what we're looking for in a buy setup, okay? And so we see a lot of examples where the buy setups are a bit too deep, like on this Tilray, okay? The Tilray, you know, you get the pullback, and by the time it's ready to get the bounce there, it's on the wrong side of the 20 MA. And so what you want to look for when you're looking at these retracement plays on something bullish, right, is let the smaller time frame fix itself. So here, if you're looking to play this, It's a little bit too deep on the pullback. So now the uptrend on the smaller time frame is a little bit damaged, although the 15-minute is fine as a buy setup. It's fine into support. So what we want to see is it move up and then repair the 5-minute. How could it repair? And for this one, either base out here until the 20 MA starts to curl up and then move up. Then you have a confirmed new uptrend on the 5 in line with the 15-minute continuing. Well, what does this do? Kind of runs into resistance and then continues the downtrend. Okay, so I think we saw that. We saw that on the CCIV as well. Like this is a good buy setup here, right? But then when it does the 15-minute buy setup, right in the first one in here, you can see it's on the wrong side of the 20 MA there. So we need it to repair. Okay, so what does it do? This one does repair. Okay, this one we did talk about. You could play, but I didn't play because I was already doing the run, and I liked the run more, and the amount of strength it had definitely I thought made it a better play, so I just went with that. So you can see the 15-minute starts the pullback, but what did the 5-minute do? 5-minute 20 MA started to curl down, almost like this was going to be a lower high. So we needed to move up. The 20 MA you can see starts to curl up underneath, and so then that was the entry right over 55.40. Okay, 55.40. Then we get to the targets, what we're looking for as targets. I wanted to see us to get into this pivot. I was initially just aiming for 56.50 just to get to that pivot. I didn't think we were going to get through the pivot or even the top of the pivot, although I did want to be a part of the play if that did happen, because you never know, right? Let's look at like the star today. Look at what it did just at the end. Surged back up. So with the run, it was get some off early as far as the first target and then try to stick with it until end of day. And so I thought we did a decent enough job. I look at all these 2-minute bars in a row, so we didn't quite get to 56.50 on the first run. So I said, let's go ahead and take some off just because of how many bars up in a row. Then when we finally got up here, I said take another quarter off. And then the last quarter, stuck with it until it finally trailed underneath this last 15-minute bar under 56.17. Okay, so it was fine. I think max was around 2 Rs. That was that first target of 55 or 56.50, and I guess the top ended up being 56.60. Pretty close. Okay, so yeah, so I thought this turned out fine on the run. Kind of put a lot of the pieces together that we've been talking about, from entries and analyzing buy setups to management, and even talking about why this one as opposed to something else in the sector like FSLR, because a lot of the solar stocks were strong, but what we wanted to do when we're looking to play something long is we want to go for the strength in the sector. Okay, the ones that are showing the most strength, those are going to be the ones that are going to give you the most follow through to the upside, because what's strong and leading the sector is strong for a reason. I've generally found that if you try to play something lagging the sector and intentions of catching up, you don't get as much follow through. And then if the run starts to pull back or starts to go sideways, the other ones that have been showing weakness come in even more. Okay, so I liked that this run was up, was one of the strongest solars. I think the only other one was like a $12 stock. It was up a greater percentage because it was a little bit lower priced. But this was basing at the highs, had a nice move in the morning. So that's why this one was the one that was picked. Okay. All right. So those were the plays from today. Hopefully you're able to participate in some of them. Not a lot, but it's also, we're not in earnings season. Market also today, as you saw, was very much kind of range bound today. Pretty narrow bar here. So it's not the kind of day that you would typically expect to be doing dozens and dozens of trades. Okay, so I thought we did a good job being patient, waiting for good setups. Okay, as we have been all week. Okay. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's market wrap. Hope you did well. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. Have a good evening.